Have you ever wondered how long it would take to become financially independent as a digital nomad? That is, to quit your 9 to 5, to become financially free and to become location independent. Well, stick around because in this video I'm going to tell you exactly how long it will take, and I'm also going to give you free shortcuts, free hacks that you can use to speed up the process. What's up guys, this is Brett here from brettdev.com and welcome back to the channel. Now today in this video I want to answer the question of how long does it take for you to go from complete beginner to being, well, financially self-sufficient as a digital nomad. Now, when I say financially self-sufficient, I don't mean, becoming a millionaire or starting a huge online business. What I'm talking about is how long would it take you if you were to start a business from day one to get to the point where you could kind of travel the world, earn your own income, and not have to rely on, a boss or anything like that, okay? So I have an online community. It's called Nomad School. If you're not a member, then you can visit nomadschool.com or you can click the link in the description. And over in that community, I reached out to the guys that are in there because half of the people in Nomad School are already successful digital nomads. I asked them, I said, how long did it take you from day one all the way to, being able to travel the world, being able to live life on your own terms, all of that fun stuff. I asked them how long did it take. Now, the results that came back were a bit of a mixed bag. However, they did tend to trend one way, okay? So I asked, did it take you less than 6 months? Did it take you 6 months to a year? Did it take you 1 to 2 years? Or did it take you 2 years or more? So I'm gonna get straight into what they said. So 12% of people said it took them less than 6 months. So that's not a lot. So as you can clearly see, it's not easy. 12% of people also said 6 to 12 months. So only 25% of the group did it in less than a year. A little over 30% said 1 to 2 years, and 45% of people said it took them 2 years or more. Now, I want to preface that when I asked this question, I did exclude people that have remote online jobs. So I purely said, how long did it take you to start an online business that you could use to, become location independent? Now, people who have a remote online job didn't take part in this poll. And also, I didn't factor in how long it took for them to develop the skills that they'd need to start their businesses either. So, obviously we're learning skills all the time, but a lot of these guys already had some level of skill set to be able to go out and start the business. This is how long it took to get the business off the ground from day one. So we're looking at 1 to 2 years or more. Now, I had some very interesting comments from some of the guys in the group. So Michael said about a year. He said, I had to fully commit. It was stressful at times. I look back on that period of my life and realized I had no idea what I was doing. But it's powerful if you publicly break ties with your old life and commit to doing something new. A new business requires strong energy and determination. I thought that was an amazing comment. Thomas also said, my experience is about 12 months before it's viable and 3 years before it's a solid business. Can be reduced if you have a lot of contacts and experience, but doing anything big takes over 12 months, and that's just life. And that's very, very true. A lot of people set out on this digital nomad journey and they think that they're going to, move to a country like Thailand and start their online business within 6 months and be rolling in the dough. That's not how it works. When you become a digital nomad and when you want to start your own online business, it takes time, it takes sacrifice. And in order to do so, you're going to have to build up the skills. So I'm sure a lot of the guys that were building these businesses were learning along the way, but some of them may have had an existing skill set prior. Most people, have some sort of understanding of the business they're getting into before they get into it, whether they're starting like a web design agency or whatever it might be. They're probably a web designer before they start their own business, probably working for somebody else's agency. And this is the time it's gonna take them, which maybe take you to, if you want to go out and build your own agency, right? Now, the purpose of this video isn't to dishearten you if you thought you were going to get rich in 6 months. The purpose of this video is to kind of give you a realistic perspective of how long it can take, but also to confirm to you that if you do stick with it, you will do it. Because although, 50% of the people took more than 2 years, 30-something% of the people took 1 to 2 years, 50% of the people in my community, in nomadschool.com, are already successful digital nomads. So that's half of the group. So that goes to show you that if you actually stick with it, you will do it. It may not be as quickly as you would like, but you will do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some tips, some advice if you're just getting started on how you can kind of speed this process up and how you can kind of remain focused and stick with it without giving up and being part of the 50%. Well, the other 50% haven't given up. Most of them are working on it, but how you can not give up along your journey. So the first piece of advice I would give you is to start with an end goal in mind. In other words, have a plan, have a very clear vision of exactly where you want to get to, what you want to accomplish. Once you have that clear vision, that clear goal, then work backwards from there. And every action that you take on a daily basis, when you wake up and you work on a specific part of your business, when you're working on specific tasks, ask yourself, is that task going to get me to that end result? And is it going to be to get me there as quickly as possible? Is it the most important thing? There's this really great concept called the domino effect. Some people know of it, of like the 80-20 rule. And I think it might have been Tim Ferriss who actually, summarized it in this way. He said, what is the one domino, what is the one task I can check off that is going to make all the other tasks irrelevant? Okay, so what is the one domino that I can knock down that's going to knock all the others down? Now, you can only know this if you have the end goal in mind, if you know what you want to accomplish. Once you know what you want to accomplish, you can then analyze the tasks that you work on and the actions you take and determine what are those big dominoes. This is important because you don't want to be wasting time just doing random stuff that doesn't really have a big, powerful impact on what you're trying to do. This is why, for most people, it can take a very, very long time, because when you're starting a business, when you're becoming an entrepreneur, you have to not only, build the business, but in order to build the business effectively, you have to retrain the way that you think and the way you analyze time. I would say for most people that took 3-4 years to build their business, in hindsight, they probably could have built it in 12 to 18 months if they had had this mindset, because their mindset probably had to shift over that period of time. If they had that mindset from the beginning and they had that end goal and they weren't kind of like randomly, clawing their way through it, then this can dramatically shortcut the time it takes you. So that's one big tip that I would give you. I'd start with the end goal in mind, and I would work on the 80-20 principle, and I would find out what is the number one big domino that I can knock down that will eliminate all other tasks. Because most tasks that you have in your to-do list don't need to be done. There's only a handful of things. It's 20% of the work that you put in will give you 80% of the reward. Okay, so 20% accounts for 80% of the results that you get. It's not the other way around. You don't want to be working on the 80% and getting 20% of the results. The second tip that I would give you in order to speed up this process is to learn from other people. Okay, don't think that you know it all and that you can figure it all out by yourself. You don't necessarily have to get coaching from people. You don't necessarily have to go to meetups and workshops, although those things are beneficial and they would help you dramatically. But at least pick up a book. At least recognize that, if you want to achieve a certain outcome, if you, for example, want to start an online marketing agency, recognize that other people have done it before you and consume content that they've put out, whether that be a book, whether that be an online course, whatever it might be. That's going to shortcut your time to success massively. I find a lot of people that don't want to listen, that don't want to, follow somebody else's path, are just very, very arrogant. And if you have that mindset, if you have the mindset of, well, I can figure it out myself, or I don't need to learn, I don't need to follow what anybody else has done, or I'm original and I'm unique, then you really need to question your own mindset, because this is a problem with ego mainly. And there's a lot of people that have this issue. They have an ego problem and they can't, deal with taking advice from anybody else. And if you're one of those people, you're never going to get anywhere. There's people that have done what you're trying to do in almost every area, okay? And there's resources, there's material, they've put out their plan, they've shown you how they've done it. So you don't have to do it exactly the way that they did it, but at a bare minimum, consume content, read books, watch online courses, go to meetups, go to workshops, try and figure out what everybody else has done, and then do it in your own way. Like I say, you don't have to copy people, but you can, see the pathway and you can make it your own. Now, the third tip that I would give you is, once you know your end goal, once you know exactly what you're trying to achieve, become laser focused on the skills that you need to learn in order to achieve it. Do not study, do not focus on learning anything else that is not related to getting you towards that end goal. Now, a good example of this is, I live in Chiang Mai in Thailand, and people used to ask me, within the first 3 years when I was trying to build my business when I first got here, Brett, why don't you learn Thai? Why can't you speak Thai perfectly and fluently? You've been here for 3 years. And my answer was, it may have sounded a little bit ignorant, but my answer always was, well, my goal is to earn money. If I can't earn any money, then I can't live in Thailand. If I don't build my business, if my business is not a success, I'm not going to have the money to live in Thailand. So what use is it me spending hours every single day learning a language that isn't spoken anywhere else except in Thailand? My main priority, the only thing that I can study, the only thing that I should be spending my time learning are the skills that are required in order for me to build my business and to make my business a success. So those are 3 ways that you can speed up the process that will take you. Start with an end goal, work your way backwards from there, knock down the big dominoes and apply the 80-20 rule. Secondly, learn from other people. Don't be so arrogant as to believe that you can learn all by yourself. There's other people that have done what you're trying to do. Learn from them, take their advice, consume the content that they put out, be it in books, online courses, or whatever. Number 3, be laser focused on where you spend your time and what you spend your time studying and learning. If you've got other things that you want to study, if you love history, if you love philosophy, if you love languages, but you're trying to build an online marketing agency, you can do all that, you can learn all that stuff once your online marketing agency is built. You don't have enough time to be studying 5 different fields if you want to get to your end goal as quickly as possible. So be laser focused. The last thing I would say is to be patient and have some perspective. Okay, everything takes time, and whether it takes you 1 year, 2 years, 3 years or more to become financially independent, to become location independent, to not have a boss, to be able to live life on your own terms and do whatever the hell you want, in the grand scheme of things, that's not really that much time. Okay, what's way worse than that is not taking action, not doing it just because you can't do it in 6 months, and in 3, 4, 5 years from now, still be in the exact same position you're in, you know, not doing what you want to be doing, not having the freedom to be able to do what you want to do, and to be trapped in some kind of corporate 9 to 5 that you absolutely hate. That's all for today, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care for now. Bye.